Hey guys, welcome back to the 2010 EB Vendor Show. I'm joined by Heather Rabbitich from BioWare. We're chatting Dragon Age 2. Heather, you've just come off the stage and you're a little jet lagged, so we'll bear with you. Tell us a little bit about the presentation you just gave.
I just showed some demo footage of Dragon Age 2 to the group. I showed the very beginning of the game where we have very exaggerated combat and Herlocks are exploding everywhere, and I don't think anybody got sick in the audience from me swiveling the camera around, but I showed some new abilities and like some combos, so I think it was pretty cool.
And you showed off ladies, which is always popular in a room full of guys.
I played as the female rogue, and I'm two people. I played as the female rogue, and she's fantastic to play with. The moves are so fast, the animations are amazing. It's a very, very responsive game now.
You mentioned animations, and that was one of the highlights of your presentation. Tell us about the changes we'll see in Dragon Age 2 in terms of animation.
Okay, well, specifically, I guess we could talk about combat. Our combat is still strategic and it's still very tactical for people who enjoyed that part of Dragon Age Origins, which I know I did. But what we've done is we've made it so that you feel like you're killing the Herlocks and the monsters. You're like in the action, you're in the heat of it, and you can jump between your party members. So each ability, like each class has its own set of animations. So the rogue, she's flipping around. The warrior's like taking things like a tank, and it's amazing. Like you actually like feel like you're doing damage versus setting up the battle and then waiting and see the shuffle swipe is what we would call it, but it's an amazing amount of effort has gone into that, and it's really showing in this demo. So
character switching was another thing you drew the crowd's attention to. What have you changed and why have you changed it, more importantly?
Well, it's part of the strategic combat, so it's still, you can still set up your party, you can still pause, and you can still set their attacks, but you can jump really quickly in between them, so you can, like, if you like playing as a mage but you also like playing as a rogue, you can kind of jump between, and it's a great way of showing your party dynamics too. Like it's fast and it's very fluid, and you can strategically like set Inferno, knock Herlocks down all over the field. Well, then you jump back to your character and she's taking care of archers, or she's out in the distance making sure everybody's like knocked down. So
now the conversation wheel is also getting a bit of an overhaul. Why have you changed that one?
Well, we wanted to ensure, like, it's a very story-driven game, so having the conversation wheel hasn't, dumbed down anything. It hasn't removed anything from the story, but what we've done is we've added a paraphrase, right? So you can see and know what your selection's going to be. We always joke about with Zevran, you accidentally flirted with Zevran all the time, and you're hitting on Zevran, but you're trying to get rid of him, We wanted to avoid Zevran-like situations in the future, so you'll see that there's an aggressive option, there'll be flirt, there's very neutral, you have party options for to ensure your party's taken care of that way, and I think like it's just cleaner and you know what you're doing, so people who want to get into the story can get into the story. We have an investigate option, and you can drill down and learn everything you need to know about Flemeth, but you can also just jump through and play as an aggressive if you want.
Now it is a little more overt than the one we saw in Dragon Age. Is that because people were confused by it, or you wanted to simplify the process for selection?
Well, partially there was confusion. Also, I mean, it takes up a lot of real estate on the page when you have 12 different options, and now we have the fully voiced player VO, so you have that voice of the player who's going to say something, and you get the intent, this is going to be humorous. You don't know what they're going to say still, and you don't really, we're not giving anything away by putting that option there, but you just know the intent of what the character is going to say.
Now, for anyone that hasn't been following the project to this point, where does Dragon Age 2 fit into the Dragon Age universe?
Dragon Age 2 takes place after Lothering has been destroyed. So, your Grey Warden's off doing their thing, and your family, Hawke's family, is fleeing Lothering, and they're looking for safety and a home, and that's one thing too that's kind of cool. Is like, if you have played Origins, that's great, because you can you'll remember these events. King Cailan died, what's happened in history, but if you haven't played, it's all brand new, and it's still like we explain it all through cutscenes in different ways, so anybody, you can get caught up, or you could be like, kind of, this is awesome, I already know this stuff, or I did that, in the game, so.
There's a lot of revamping happening in Dragon Age 2. How much of that is coming as a result of community feedback, and how much comes as kind of best practice and lessons learned from Origins?
Actually, quite a bit. We're very attentive to fan feedback, and we're, fans of a lot of different games too, so we read reviews, and we go through the forums, and we essentially pick out the things that we also wanted to change. So that was the graphic style, that was the combat, that was, making the story more accessible. These are all things that we saw our fans wanting, and we wanted it, so we just wanted to make a better game all around.
People are obviously wanting to get their hands on this one. Can you give us an indication of platforms and when the game's going to be out?
All right, so it's coming out March 8th in North America, March 11th in Europe, and it'll be on PC, Xbox 360, and PS3.